All right, hey Prvn community, we're giving you an update on what's going on with the Prvn team in the off season. We were really excited of how this last season went with our games training leading up to that. We were really excited to see everybody's fitness level going into the games. It was a really unfortunate experience that I had with Brooke at the games at the end there when she was looking so fit going into those last days. But we are excited to see that her surgery went well, and we'll definitely be keeping you updated on her progress from here on out leading up, and I'm so sure that she'll be keeping you guys updated as well. In our off season, what we're going to be going through here is trying to get more procedures and policies put in place that are going to keep things streamlined. So from our team standpoint, we're going to be creating more content, creating more tools, getting more up on the coaching development side from us, planning, creating a very good structure as we lead up into the season, because when the season goes, it's like wildfire. We kind of keep just moving along. So what we want to make sure of is in our off season, we have the content, we have the procedures, we have things on a timeline that can be written out and a little bit easier so that we can focus more on our athletes when we get into the season. So right now we have Sydney starting up training a little bit more so she's here. We have Will, who's actually taking a little bit more time before he gets back into training. He's gonna be starting to ramp up here in the coming months as well. Tia and Shane are gonna be traveling a bit for bobsled. So now that means that on us, we're gonna be here supporting the athletes as a team. Okay, so right now what we're looking at from the coaches side on kind of where we're at, I know some of you saw that we're looking for a customer service and specialist with that. That's because we're actually starting to add on a little bit more in terms of what we're doing from the coaching side. So Will Kearney, who's in Australia right now, just actually is finishing up his kind of coaching at CrossFit Torian so that he can more focus on the tracks that he has developed, which is the fitness track, and he's going to be more focused on our master's track. He ties in directly with Shane, so they talk very often about where we're going with that. And that's going to be kind of a big thing where he's going to be able to spend full time on that. We have Coach Nick.
Can I say I hate the word box?
Who's our compete mastermind. And he, again, Shane kind of has oversight over everything, but Nick is going to be our mastermind developing the next few cycles that are going to really get people ready and trying to get as many people from those tracks to the games as possible. And then I'm right now working on the affiliate side, and from my side with our season right now where we have less to do with the athletes, our individual athletes one-on-one, I have a lot more time to develop on coaching development tools for our affiliates, as well as creating better structure for the plans that are going to be laid out and creating more content that I can have on a weekly basis for all of our affiliates that then can be put in place and a lot easier to do once we do start ramping back up into the season with our individual athletes. So now a little bit on where kind of the athletes are all at. As we all know, Tia is going to be going up, specifically training mostly at Lake Placid for the bobsled season. Then she's going to do a little bit of training there in Austin leading up into Rogue. We have Sydney, who started kind of putting a little bit more into training earlier on as she had a little bit more of time off, and then she actually has a little fun competition that she's just doing to keep herself fresh and lively with the beach brawl down in Florida. We have Paulina, who we just announced is coming on to Team Prvn officially, and she's actually already started training a little bit as she has a bunch of weightlifting competitions, and then she'll be out with us training for a good 3-week time period so we can kind of check in, see where she's at the end of October. And then probably out here looking full time through the Open, and then we'll kind of see what that looks like leading up after the Open into semis and whatnot with that. And then Will is just going to be starting off getting back, ramping up into some base building phase, strength, making sure his body's looking good up here in September. And then we're gonna see where Brooke kind of lines up with her recovery, but we'll have a lot of other things that we can work with her as she's progressing through that elbow leading up into the next year. And that's kind of where we're leaving off with our individual athletes at the moment. Okay, so now we also have a master's track coming on that's gonna be launching, and we actually tried to pair it up so that our compete track and our masters track can start off on a cycle roughly at about the same time, because we understand that we've had some masters athletes in the compete programming that want something a little more specific to a masters athlete. So we're starting that September 6th, and we're going to be having kind of those tracks starting to go off, and with the Masters track, really focused specifically on our Masters division and those age group qualifiers, the Open, and then getting ready for trying to get as many athletes on that track to the games as possible. And so what we'll see is that actually we're starting off there, just laying the foundation, getting some kind of benchmark tests for our Masters athletes when we go into that cycle, and then we'll actually go on to a little bit of just a tiny different timeline. But starts off at September 6th with the compete cycle. And our compete cycle is gonna be starting off on another cycle where we're really trying to build up that base and that strength that we're gonna need before laying down that intensity and that high threshold stuff that's gonna come as we get kind of closer to the Open. And you'll start seeing that stuff coming in more with our next cycle when we get close to the new year, and then leading into February and that Open time period as we progress through that and into quarterfinals, semifinals. All right, so we are excited with our first year with Team Prvn kind of coming in here, and we're gonna be looking forward to what we can do with this year in our off season building up and launching into a really successful and awesome 2022. Again, if you were looking to jump on to our Masters track, that starts September 6th. You can click on the link. Also, our compete track, if you've been deciding on whether or not to jump onto that, we also have that new cycle leading up, and that's going to get you ready for the next season to come. So again, both those links are below. Click on that, and we're excited to see how you tackle next year.
I came from the mud, there's dirt on my hands. Strong like a tree, there's roots where I stand. Oh, I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They sing on a sleepless night. Try to catch me howling at the moon. 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 When it rains, it pours. Water's up to my chin. Won't stop fighting to the very end. Many men trying to reach it. Many men have failed. Well, if you wanna get to heaven, you gotta raise a little hell. And I've been running from the law. Hope they won't shoot me down soon. They say no to sleepless night. Will you find me? Hope you find me. I'll be back home soon. When the sun rises, when the sun